TXL ABC 27's Brittany Kleinpeter was at today's memorial and shows us how the community is remembering Markle.
It's true that he had this a loyal friend who could hear and listen to poetries, the seeker of justice and truth. Perseverance and why you know why.
Friends and family gathered at Congregation Chomri Torah today to remember FSU law professor Dan Markell.
This is probably the strangest, saddest, most surreal experience I've had in my life. Don't think I could ever imagine a scenario.
Dan Markell primarily taught criminal law at Florida State Law School, although members of both the law and Tallahassee community feel that he left a significant mark behind.
He's going to be greatly missed. You know, he left an indelible mark. I think that's important. And it's good to see how that indelible mark, how vast it extends.
Many that knew Markell say he will live on through the people and community members that he's touched.
This brings us back to the word vivacious. A rare sense of that word. A word that means tenacity, somebody who will live on, who will outlive, who will not be extinguished.
Reporting from Tallahassee, Florida, Brittany Kleinpeter, WTXL, ABC 27, dedicated to you.
FSU says another memorial will be planned in the fall when more students and faculty are in Tallahassee. Police are still investigating the incident. If you have any information, you're urged to call TPD at 850-606-5800. We'll keep you updated with this story on air and online.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. We were out at the house, just to confirm that I have Tamara, T-A-M-A-R-A, Demko, D-E-M-K-O, date of birth 6/3/75.
Correct.
All right. And you were telling me, you were giving me some background. You went to law school, you met Danny at Harvard Law School. You were elected to posts for leadership purposes, and you've kept in touch with him throughout this time.
Yes.
All right, I'll let you, just wanted to make sure I'm up to speed on where we're at, that you has been in Tallahassee, would you say 12 years? 7, I'm sorry. And did you go to their wedding?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I was hanging out with them up here before the wedding, but I didn't actually go to their wedding.
Oh, the wedding wasn't here? Okay. Go ahead, feel free.
Danny, so Wendy was going through this process, and the time before she left him, she finished writing her book. And I noticed when she gave me a copy of the book before she left him that she didn't put that she was married. She listed her kids, but she didn't, and I kind of was like, interesting.
She didn't list Danny?
No, not to my recollection. There was something that stood out about her dedication to me, or the author lives here with her 2 sons.
Okay.
And so that was a little odd. But again, this was a few years ago at this point. It was 2012. So 2012, I'd started a doctoral program at UNC Chapel Hill, and I was traveling with the class to London, and I happened to fly back through Toronto. And since Danny's family has a place in Toronto, Wendy had sent out a birthday invitation to all of Danny's friends and said, hey, for Danny's 40th, can you all make a video? Take a picture of yourself doing something, wishing Danny happy birthday. And she sent this out months earlier, like everything was fine between them. So I took a little video of myself in Toronto, and that never happened. The party never happened. Right around his birthday, she called me up, and I knew Danny was traveling, and she said, I have left him. And she moved everything out of the house, and she left him. What I didn't know at the time is that she hadn't told him where she was going. And she kept this from him for a couple of weeks, like he was going crazy. He was heartbroken. I was trying to be friendly with her. I didn't know what to think about what she'd said, that he was kind of being psychologically abusive. He's older than she is, so I think she felt that as a power play based on what she'd said to me. And I was in a position where I felt inclined to try to believe her. So she got her place on Aqua Ridge, and I went and visited her just to see if she's okay. Took my boys over there, see her settle in. Not knowing that she was keeping the location at the time.
Not knowing what?
That she had been keeping the location from Danny at the time. Okay. She didn't handle it well at all. It was probably the nastiest divorce I've ever seen. It was nasty. Danny went into this deep depression, and we spent a lot of time. Eventually, I talked to him. He told me, he's like, I didn't understand. I'll be better. I'll be a better husband. I won't nag her so much about cooking or cleaning, and he just kept beating himself up about it for a long time. We had a lot of very personal, intimate discussions over the course of a year, I guess.
You and Danny?
And Danny, yeah. And I was talking to Wendy, but Danny kept claiming that Wendy was a little unstable and that she was very flaky. And I was kind of, but she ended up being like that, in that she would make plans and she'd cancel them suddenly, or she'd forget about them, and she'd do that with friends as well. But it became a hard line. They would call it, you're either Team Danny or Team Wendy.
Yeah.
And they would actively refer to this. Danny
People that are associated with all.
And Danny himself and Wendy herself. They would say Team Danny and Team Wendy.
Okay.
It was kind of unnerving, actually. And I was like, I don't want to pick a team. I've become friends with her, too. But he was a wreck. And she didn't want to live in Tallahassee. She hated being here. She was a more of a DC girl or Miami, and I found out over time that she actually grew up several blocks over from me in Coral Springs, which is where I moved to when I was 12. She was a few years younger, so I never really met her in high school or anything like that. But her parents still lived there at the time. I think they've since relocated, I don't know. But I went and met her family there. When they were married, I saw them both there when they were first having their babies and such. And so I'd go and visit them, whether it was here or whether it was down there. When she left, it was a family effort. Like, parents came up, helped her move, helped conceal everything, get that going. Danny was like beside himself. When she didn't want to move, when she wanted to move, he tried to make it so that she couldn't. And this began a really ugly portion of the legal battle.
Move where?
She wanted to move back to South Florida to be closer to her parents.
After the divorce?
Yes.
Okay.
And he said, I love my kids too much, no way in hell, I'm going to fight you. And he was able to get an injunction so she couldn't move. So she was stuck here. She was also under consideration for a professor track at FSU College of Law. And starting at some point, I don't even remember when, it's been 3 years or so, I guest lecture for her in her class every semester. I just did a few weeks ago, which I'll come back to. Please remind me to come back to that because she said some things to me.
Okay.
The legal battle was very ugly. She felt trapped. I started trying to not talk to both of them about the legal stuff because I felt kind of caught in the middle. And she thought, there's no way they can force me to stay here. And he's like, there's no way, I'm not going to have access to my kids. Bunch of weird, there's just things that don't feel right to me. And that's why I'm really glad that you have had me come in today. So after my birthday, we still talked on the phone, I believe, but I didn't physically see him afterward, I don't think. Wendy, I guest lectured for after my birthday, so after that. And I talked to her, and she told me that she was dating someone. And I said, oh, and I thought it was new. It wasn't new. She'd been dating this guy since September. A social worker who was a professor in social work at FSU. And she was all excited about him, and, he wants to get serious, and she's not sure, but she really likes him, and everything's good, and maybe we should double date sometime, because I had started dating someone in the interim. So, Danny and I were both talking about the current people we were dating, like, we'll see how it works out, but he wanted to get a movie afterwards. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't, we'll do it next time, it's never next time. So, he had started consulting, and I didn't know much about what he was doing. He was kind of excited about it. I knew he wasn't lead. And I don't think he felt it was dangerous. When I found out, and I guess this is going backwards so I can understand my thought process on it too, because it's more instinctive right now and that's bothering me. I found out, I was at work at Text Watch when this happened. I had no idea it happened. It pains me that I was like down the road when this happened. I found it because a law school classmate sent me an email and said, I just saw, oh my God, are you okay? Because my entire class knows that we're close. They don't know how close we have been, but they knew we were close. And that's how I found out, and I was not doing well with it. And I got upset for the first hour. I called John Beeman and said, what the hell happened? He couldn't tell me much, but there was a suggestion that maybe it was a known entity. And before we even got to him saying that, I was thinking about relationship with Wendy, and it just didn't feel good. Did not feel good. And got off the phone with him, and I found Amy's number, and I talked to Amy for a long time. And I told her everything I knew she needed to hear. I'm like, you're the love of his life, he would marry you. I know a little different, but she needed to hear that. And I know he would have wanted to comfort her that way. And I talked to his other friends, Maya and Alex, and then I felt like, and so Amy said to me, if someone intentionally killed Danny, if I go down there, what if they try to hurt me? Because she was feeling like something was off too. And I said, well, I have a concealed carry, I'll take it with me, just come, you can stay at my place, I'll pick you up. So I got off the phone with her, and I realized I didn't have my clip. I haven't found my clip for like 2 months, I have no idea where it went. Yeah. So I went to Kevin's, and it was like, I have like a cheap Kel-Tec 9, and like a knob. I only got it after the other stuff. So I went to Kevin's, they didn't have those clips, they're gonna order them for me, but I ended up buying one yesterday. I bought a 40 yesterday. And I went and just like, okay, I get the hug for tomorrow in case she needs protection or whatever. And at that point I couldn't help myself. I'm like, I have to know. And I drove straight to Wendy's. And when I got there, it didn't make me feel better. And I hate saying it, but I do, because I feel disloyal somehow. But I got there, she had her friend Janine, who I hadn't really heard about before, and Janine's husband, I guess. I can't remember his name, something short and interesting. But she opened the door, and she looked fairly calm, and she hugged me. I didn't say a word, and she just said, I'm so sorry, to me, because she knows how close we were to some degree. And then it was odd, because it felt like Janine was playing bodyguard and being very protective, and like, who is this Janine person? Her mom came out, I hugged her mom. The boys were running around like nothing was going wrong. And I was so glad, I just had to see them. Like, I wanted to be near some part of Danny. And I asked the mom, like, how did you find out? She said, we're in Miami. Wendy called from the police station. We drove all night. And she seemed appropriately, like, upset. Then her dad, who I've met half a dozen times, Coral Springs, up here, he gave me this look, and I don't know what my facial reaction was to it, but I'm almost positive it was one of suspicion and anger, because he can't even look me in the face today. And it was awkward, and it never had been before. That really bothered me.
Was it common for him to look you in the face? I mean, some people don't do it.
No, not like an Asperger's kid. No, he was, yeah, absolutely. At least when someone's talking internally, you're listening, looking. No, it was odd.
He recognized you. It
of
wasn't a
course,
question
he's like, TJ, hey, yeah.
But he would not look you in the eye.
He started off fine, and then when we locked eyes, it was like something transpired that didn't sit well with either one of us, I guess. And then today, he would not even look at me. I found that to be very unsettling.
And this would be Wendy's father?
Yes,
Harvey?
Mm-hmm. Harvey. Charlie was supposed to come up, her younger brother, but he didn't. That was also strange, because she was positive he was coming, and then he wasn't. I drove then to his house, to Danny's house, and sat outside and prayed.
From Wendy's?
From Wendy's.
And this was yesterday?
This was yesterday.
Okay.
And just sat there and prayed and said, from here, nothing looks different. It looks like he'll be home any moment. And then went to church and prayed for an hour, ran into my priest, talked to him for another hour, and I haven't slept since. So I didn't know where he had been shot until this morning. It was extremely hard to hear.
Who told you?
Maya.
What'd she tell you?
She said that he was shot in the face, and that the only thing visible was his chin, and that his brain was mostly gone. And then there were all sorts of rumors swirling.
But that's not true. I mean, I don't know where that's coming from. That's not completely accurate.
Okay.
I'm sorry to have to, I mean...
No, just...
But I don't know... I can't correct that, what has been already told to you specifically, but unfortunately these things get all blown out of proportion.
Yeah. let me continue talking.
Yeah,
If
go
you feel
ahead.
like
I'm
we're
sorry.
done, like,
I'm
you
sorry.
can tell me what you're able to tell me,
Go ahead.
and I would love to hear it. Anyway, I based on what they said, I don't think that any one of them physically pulled the trigger. I think it is extremely odd that Janine all of a sudden is tagging on. I found it extremely odd that Wendy's boyfriend that she was so excited about a few weeks ago was not there. When I was leaving, I said, well, where's your new guy? Shouldn't he be here to comfort you? And she's like, there's no new guy. And I was like, that's interesting timing. There's just a lot of interesting timings that don't feel right here. And I don't, and Wendy's gone through a lot. She's gone through a lot with this. So it could just be that she's grieving, and I hope that that's the case. But I wouldn't put it past her father or even her brother to do something that she might not even be aware of.
You talking about this Charlie?
Charlie, maybe. Charlie really cares about her and hated Danny for stuff. But her dad, I mean, there was a lot of animosity. I don't know whether she told them that he had been abusive or what. I don't know. But I hope that's not the case. I just, everything I've heard does not feel random at all to me, and it feels incredibly intentional. Based on talking to Amy, she talked to him the night before, and he usually sleeps in bed with the kids. And there are nights when I would go over and we'd sing lullabies to the kids to put them to sleep. The latest claim was that she had concealed $500,000 in assets, on top of having the family heirloom and other things that he felt were unreasonable. And he had claimed to my aunt Alex, apparently, that there was something that big that he was going to drop a bomb on her in the next week. A legal bomb that would discredit her statements, particularly with regard to financial matters. Again, the timing of all of it doesn't sit well with me. I have been trying to gauge Wendy's family's reactions to things because I've been around them, and even when she first left him, I mean, I went over to her house. Her parents were staying there. I had a drink with her mom. Like I've seen them and how they react to things, and something feels off. And it could just be, I hope it is, because I don't want Ben and Lincoln to grow up with, really orphaned. And if it does have to do with that family, I hope Wendy had nothing to do with it and is triply devastated that something was related. But the dance that they did was very painful to everyone around them, because it was just nasty. And even on days when she had them, he would go to the preschool just so he could see them and spend time with them. He referred to himself as Abba in Jewish tradition, and he really wanted them to be raised Orthodox. And this was a huge bone of contention between the two of them. They agreed on it when they got married, and then over time, she made it fairly clear that she was not into that. So for the first year after the kids were born, first year or two, they did the ritual, they sang songs, they were teaching them the songs, everything seemed good. And then she just didn't want to go to temple with him and sort of declined. And then they were actively fighting post-divorce as to what the upbringing would be. And she didn't want them growing up in some kind of Orthodox way. Absolutely not. And she knew that was his heart. So there was never going to be peace about that. Everyone knows, and I've heard people in town write me when I haven't even commented to them, saying, I just heard this is domestic. Have you heard anything? And I'm like, I'm not discussing this. But Wendy has all clear. She can move wherever she wants, all that kind of stuff. I don't think she would hurt her children that way. I want to believe that. I could see her getting overwhelmed enough with the situation to complain to someone who would want to make it go away. And I also feel it's weird that her social worker boyfriend, poof, so suddenly after just bragging about him so recently.
When was that? When was the latest time that she was talking about you?
Okay, let me figure out when I guest lectured. I had dinner with Danny on the 4th. I guest lectured on June 17th.
That's the one that you wanted to refer to later, that you asked me to remind you about?
Yes, so she was bragging about him. She really liked him, and she sent me messages. My messages are going so far back at this point. Let me pull it up.
When you're guest lecturing, she's not there.
We talked before.
Okay.
There's Danny. Danny's message. Sorry, it's bigger than 17. There it is.
Well, this is you. What time is the class in the morning? And then you, after that, you said 10 to 12:30 or earlier. The blue is you.
Yes, the blue is me.
Okay. And then June 17th at 8:50 a.m. 10, please. I have to run today after class, but can we set up a date so I can thank you and take you to lunch, please? You said, sounds good. This is all referring to the class that day. Sometime after the class at 1:47.
He was with Wendy when she found that one. Jane's like, I went to the police station with her, but it felt very, I was like, is she an attorney? Is she representing her? It felt very guarded, very, very guarded. Like you were like her personal bodyguard now, and almost like guarded with the children around me. And I'm like, that's really weird. You know, again, Wendy's mom seemed fine. Anyone else, I can't say.
You don't suspect anything suspicious about her mom?
Not so much, no.
But her dad, you're feeling some vibes because of him not wanting to look you in the eye yesterday.
And then today not wanting to look me at all. No.
Did he acknowledge you at all today?
No, he didn't. Not at all. And he and his son had a dental practice. He was well respected in the community down in South Florida, which has a lot of resources, and I'm sure that if anything were to take place, they would be extremely smart about it. But I got a vibe from him, like, I know you suspect me, and, I'm done. When I met Ruth, Ruth was trying to talk to Donna Adelson, Wendy's mom, and saying, like, oh, I'd really like to see the boys. And, Donna just kept walking away.
Who was saying that?
Ruth.
Right.
Said to Wendy's mom, Donna. Today at the service, I'd really like to see the boys. And Donna kept walking away with the boys. And Ruth turned to me and she said, I hope what I just saw didn't actually happen. Like, she just got ignored.
Oh.
And she said that, she's like, well, I guess that's not going to happen, but you know the story. So, obviously, I infer that Dan had been talking to her and the family about these problems. It was a big family-to-family thing.
Okay.
But I know that everyone, family, friends, everyone was tired of having different teams, tired of this legal back and forth. And if people felt it wasn't going to end, I could see them wanting to make it end.
Okay. And like you said, this opens up all her options as to where she goes from here.
Yeah. And I care about her, and I've been friends with her, but it's through Danny that I first met her, and I've been friends with him for a decade before that. And it was because of her that my loyalty was, I can't date you right now either. So it's, like, I've tried to respect that. I've tried to respect where everyone is. But I'm already devastated. I'm kind of in the numb zone right now. But he was my confidant. He was my advisor. He was someone who I could trust. And that, for me, was very rare. So, I don't know what I'm going to be doing without him here. Maybe get out of Tallahassee. But, I just wish I could hold him again. And I know if I could just hold him one more time or talk to him, it wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't change the outcome. And I knew he loved me, and I know that he knew that I loved him. But this is not right. Not right. And I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to be afraid having gotten weird. And I was. I gotta tell you, I was. I went home and slept with my gun next to me last night. I'm like, well, on the off chance that this instinct isn't just being overtired and totally, grieved, like, I'm worried.
You worried for your own safety?
I was worried, like, if someone is so rational that they would do something like this or put out a hit or plan this or whatever, and they feel like someone is really suspicious about it, that person, why not? If there's some kind of chink in the plan, And I know Ruth is trying so hard to be gracious because she wants that relationship with those boys. But it would break Danny's heart if it turns out the way that it's seemingly going to now. Where they're in Canada, she'll never let them go see. There's no grandparent rights, right, in Florida? They'll never be raised in that. And I guess that's her right, if there's nothing to do with this. But I pray that there's nothing, she and her family had nothing to do with that, because those boys need everyone. But there are so many good reasons for him not to be around. And I'm just angry thinking about it. Just even the possibility, I'm furious about it. And when I grieve, it takes me years to actually get angry, so for me to get angry like on day one was very unusual. And if they'd had nothing to do with it, she put him through hell for the last year and a half. And everyone knows that. So there are different people. I didn't even want to call her. I also found it strange that she didn't call me. She knew how close I was to him. I just guest lectured for her. She and I are friends. She didn't reach out to me, contact me, anything. I didn't even want to look at her Facebook page or call her. I'm like, she didn't reach out. This is just weird. And that's why I just showed up.
Oh, you talking about today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Oh, at the house.
Mm-hmm.
Then you showed up unannounced.
Correct.
Yeah. So she's saying I'm sorry when she greeted you, you're associating that with I'm sorry I didn't call you. I'm sorry I didn't notify you.
No, that was an I'm sorry for your loss, because she knew how close I was to him.
Okay.
Which was, that's also an interesting thing, because they were married, but she knew that. So, no, I found it strange that in the period where she learned something had happened to him and didn't know he had died, because apparently that hadn't happened yet. She didn't call me, nothing. She knows I'm his oldest and closest friend here. Didn't call, nothing. Like, that just didn't feel right either. At some point, whether waiting, being questioned, worrying, something, it would have made complete logical sense, just seeing her a couple weeks ago, that she would have contacted me.
Gotcha. Oh, since his death and the memorial at the synagogue and people's, did y'all pick up on anything at the memorial, or have you had any contact with anybody that said anything?
Wendy texted me before the memorial and asked if we would be there.
Wendy did? He didn't tell me that.
I did.
It's okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
I don't know how much my own thoughts would cloud some of those.
Right.
I mean, I guess this is time to be frank.
Yeah, Wendy had texted me, and I texted back that yes, I would be there and Alex would be there. I have since tried to contact her and said, my kids are upset, can we FaceTime with the boys? And it was one night, and she didn't even answer until the next day. She said, my FaceTime's broken, whatever. And that was pretty much it. Let me see. Pretty much my only contact with her.
We talked to her at the memorial for a couple nights. She kind of
barely. She was frazzled. She just, Sunday at 7:35, will you be at the memorial today? And I said, yes. And then that night at 6:42, I said, if possible, Gabe wants to FaceTime with the boys. And she didn't reply that. Well, she did 3 hours later. So sorry, Maya, I just saw this was with Danny's family. FaceTime isn't working on my phone, but maybe the kids could come visit the boys soon. I said, that would be great. Wasn't expecting her to FaceTime us today. Gabe just misses it. That was it.
Yeah, our middle son is very
Gabe,
so.
And that was my last contact with Wendy. As far as that. The only thing, and this is purely speculation, I have spoken to her father before because we're both dentists. We were at a birthday party for Lincoln's last.
I don't remember which one it was, but they came. They
came.
She won't share birthday parties and let Danny be there.
Be involved.
She wants separate ones. She came to his the last night. He asked, and she agreed.
She came, and her parents came with her.
So let me back up. I'm just trying to clarify. The birthday party at Danny's house?
At Danny's house for Lincoln.
Which would have been, I don't remember what the birthday was.
October.
Okay.
No.
It was longer than that ago. It was longer than that.
Whenever Lincoln's birthday.
I think that was the first year they got divorced when that happened.
Oh.
I think.
No way.
No? Okay. Don't
It
trust
was
me.
when
Like I said,
all
I'm not
this-
good with that.
Yeah, no
I'm
way.
going to her with the dates.
Yeah.
I told you need to talk to my wife.
It was
on
when
Sunday.
all this was going down, because he was, again, she's coming with her parents that, this is going to not happen when I file this motion.
Yeah.
It was another one.
Lincoln's the younger one.
Yes.
And his is in October.
Yeah, October.
Okay, so October.
October a year ago. I mean,
2013.
Yes,
You
2013.
can remember Lincoln's birthday. You better never forget mine. How do you remember that?
It's there.
I'm playing.
Okay, Ben's in July. There's only 15 months difference, so it has to be. But it was a birthday party for Lincoln, because I took the pictures, I remember. Wendy came with her parents.
Okay.
And they were friendly to me.
They were.
And they were very friendly.
But we
were
knew they
talking-
hated Danny, really.
They hate
hated
Danny.
The
But
parents, yeah.
her parents, they hate Danny. His parents hate her. You know, it was from the wedding, from
Even
the
at the
very
memorial
beginning.
service, if
A lot of
you knew everything, his mama's speech was
Directed
very
totally
much
to
directly
Wendy.
towards
To Wendy.
The things she mentioned were things that they fought about. You know, the Jewish identity and making sure. I mean, she would put him on Skype when she did Skype. She put him on Skype eating bacon.
Eating bacon, you know,
knowing
you don't do that.
You know, that kind
Like it
of
was
stuff.
totally to piss Danny off. Like it was.
So that, and then the.
But I was friendly with her parents. Like I talked to them because he's a dentist. His
Well, we
son
didn't
is a
wanna-
dentist. Like I tried to be
maintain
very
peace.
friendly. I didn't. I tried to be engaging and talking with them. I didn't want them to feel. It was hard enough that they came. But at the memorial, they would talk to me. I don't know if they were mad at me. I don't know. Obviously, Wendy's not because she asked if I was coming. But her parents.
I don't know how much of it is them. I mean, they
Protecting
know
them.
that everyone's first thought is going to be
Wendy.
or her family, right? So it does put them in a little bit of a, I'm
Defensive
sure, defensive
mode.
situation. But yeah, I would not be surprised if that's how this all turns out, laid out there. I think they were mean. I think to do some of the stuff that they did during this divorce with Danny, just not reasonable, and just you hate to think somebody would ever actually, I'm assuming somebody was probably hired to kill him. You would hate to think that somebody would do that over really anything, but somebody did, so it just makes more sense to me.
That's the
So I don't know
only
if I'm
thing I
reading
could
that
think of. I
into
was like,
him.
either her,
The father in
something-
particular.
Right, the father in particular. He just set off like a.
At the memorial.
Only
Yeah,
at the
to me.
memorial, just because he wouldn't look at me and he didn't.
Yeah, I actually kind of tried to.
We
label
tried.
him
Yeah, I
something.
tried to. I was literally, not.
I'm sure
very
he was
calm.
uncomfortable, so I don't.
But I don't want to read into it that
Okay.
much, because anybody could be emotional and everybody
Well, and
thinks
if
differently.
they don't have anything to do with it, this is horrible because everyone probably thinks they do, and they know that, and so that it's going to follow her forever.
But the only
if
thing
they
is,
don't
it's
find
either
out
her
who-
family, a bad student, or
or one of these crazy women. Huh?
yeah, or a crazy woman.
All right. I can't think of anybody else that would want to. Hurt Danny.
That's all I would know.
I can take this.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to give it to you. Why do I have to?
Because my attorney said not to.
Why do I have to give it to you? This is evidence. Evidence. She's under arrest. I have to go with you. I have to go. I have to go. You don't have to go with me. Let me help you out. No, I have to stay. Please don't do this. Take the bags. Take the bags. Yeah. You need to wait outside. Okay.
My husband's almost 80 years old. He can't
Yeah, I
come with
can.
me?
Please, can I help? No, you can't do it. Oh, don't do this, please.
Please.
Oh,
I just had to help him get home. This is terrible. You can't do this. This is insane.
Is that okay with you? Please, you don't have to have the handcuffs on. She's not going anywhere. Please, please. Do you have anything in your pocket?
No, no.
Do you have anything of value in you?
No, I
Unless you have a necklace on.
Wanna go?
You can take it out. I'll take it.
Yeah, take it off. Yeah.
And the earrings.
And the earrings, the rings, take everything. You give it to your husband. Because once you arrive at County Jail, they're gonna make you remove all that.
Can I call my attorney?
You got the passport ready?
Where am I going?
Which corporate company thing?
Where am I going?
You're going to the Dade County Jail.
Dade County Jail. No, this is right here. The one on
I'm sorry, remove your earrings? No.
1 minute.
Yeah, go back. Yeah, we'll go back out and just. You're making a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's two mistakes. And try to take your wallet. Can you get this off for me?
Can you take it off, please, Lana? I don't want to hurt
Wait,
her. Please.
just a minute. Just a minute.
Please.
It's getting there. Hold on. Listen to me.
Yeah. I'll call.
Get in an Uber, go home.
I will.
Take
I
it
will.
easy.
I will.
All right?
Yes.
Here.
If there's anything else in her person that she wants to.
Oh, well, it's coming, sweetheart. I got it. It's coming. Just a second.
Do you have her driver's license by any chance?
I'm sorry?
Her driver's
It's in my
Yeah.
it's in my purse.
Yeah.
How?
You had any to give her?
Sure. Do you need her passport, or can I give it to the husband? The passport can I give it to
What's on?
Where is it?
It's in the blue and white. It's in the blue and white.
Yeah, but I'm going to get a driver's license for you. Yeah.
And the license, the address on your license is correct?
Yes.
She needs all her. When she goes to the jail, they work.
They're all in here, though.
Yes, but they work. If I take them here, what will happen is when you go there, they possibly toss them out. So when you go to there, you will meet the nurse and the doctor, and then they'll work in conjunction with the hospital to get you whatever you need.
Yeah, but I don't have a list with me. I know what's.
Yes.
I have a.
Is it multiple or is it just one or two?
It's no. There's a bag of medication in here. Is that what you're asking me?
She can take medication. No, I know. I was just trying to find out if it was like one or two. Yeah, if it was one or two, then she maybe could take the name down.
Do you need anything else from her?
Can I ask
So
you
we're good to
something?
go?
Can someone just get my husband outside? And
I'll get him. There's a gentleman here with a system in the way.
I'll be okay. I have the ring. Hold on.
Let me have the ring.
No, I'll take it. That's crazy.
Okay.
All right. So I don't have the meds. They're all in here.
Give me 1 moment, please. Hold the body. 1 moment.
Thank you.
Testimony with any other person will be testifying in this trial. Mr. Lauro, will you need to be heard any further, sir? No, you don't. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Dr. Adelson, please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
You can lower your hand. You may speak.
Thank you, Judge, and respected officers of the court for allowing me to speak. I have been Donna Adelson's husband for over 50 years. My wife sacrificed everything so that she could pour her heart and soul into our children, our grandchildren, and our marriage. This summer was our 54th wedding anniversary, and I had to spend it without her, hand in mind. She has done nothing wrong, and yet is being punished for a crime that she did not commit. I thought we lived in a different kind of world, but I guess I was wrong. I have listened, watched, and sat in the courtroom for the entire trial, and I could not help but scream in my mind by the witnesses that were brought forward by the prosecution who told outright lies. I didn't know that you could lie in a courtroom, but apparently you can. Danny's parents contend that they have never seen their grandchild. But for years they say they've never seen her. But Wendy has shared with me pictures and videos and letters from their visits. They have suffered immensely at the loss of their son, but they also contend to tell lies to the court about our grandchildren. Donna has always been a loving and caring wife and is innocent of the charges. A biased judge and jury were influenced by years of one-sided news pieces and social media.
Dr. Ms. Fulford, this has nothing to do with the character of the defendant or relates to sentencing.
May I just 1 moment, please?
Go ahead.
Just 1 second, please.
All right, thank you for letting me continue. Donna did not participate in the heinous acts that she was convicted of doing. You are sending an innocent woman to prison. You have taken my wife and you have taken my life as well. And for what? This is not justice. It is vengeance, and it is wrong.
You have an examination for Dr. Adelson.
No, Your Honor.
Any